But on a serious note, I want you to educate our audience. What is it like for a former player to walk into the business of giving color commentary, having to be honest, having to be neutral, having to be straightforward? What kind of challenges, if any at all, has that posed for you in your post-playing career?
I mean, I want to maintain, my MO is being real. They call me the OG, so I always want to maintain, my realness. I want to maintain my authenticity. But it's such thing as keeping it too real sometimes, and that's where you got to draw that line, and that's where you got to have that balance. Everything you think, you ain't got to say. Everything you feel, you ain't got to say. And if you do say it, it's a certain way you can say it and smooth it out a little bit to where you don't ruffle any feathers or where you make it sound a certain way. So for me, just not being so real all the time and making sure I still get my point across. And sometimes I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, damn that, but not as many as I need to. I could manage that a little bit. I'm getting better with that.
Do you agree? Because I've said this to numerous players that have come into the business, and so many of them have done a great job, and I think you're gonna be fantastic. ESPN is very proud to have you. I can tell you that as a fact. But one of the things that I often say to them is that I could say some stuff because I wasn't a player. So as a journalist, coming in, this is where I come from. And I don't have to worry about that. But as a former player, is it true that players and former players hold former players to a different standard than they hold everybody else to?
Hell yeah. I mean, first of all, we already sensitive. We're sensitive about our craft. We're sensitive about our work. And we even more sensitive when it's somebody that's been in the locker room with you or it's somebody that's a part of the club. You know what I mean? Guys like that you played with, that you played against, that you competed against, there's an unwritten rule. There's a man law. There's an NBA law. So we try to protect each other as much as we can. We can compete against each other. We could dog each other. We can knock each other down, but we try to protect each other when it comes to that media. So once you're in that club, you want to stay in that club. You don't want to get tossed out. So, for me, just maintaining that. And once again, there's a balance there, you know what I mean? Because I got to keep it real, and I got to tell you the truth. If you ain't doing your job, I'm going to tell you ain't doing your job, and you just got to respect that.
But they don't. A lot of guys don't sometimes. Not all of them. I don't want to do that to the players, but not all of them. But some of them, they don't respect it. You could be telling the absolute truth. They did something in front of millions of people watching on television, in front of thousands in attendance, and all you did was echo the obvious, and some players will still have a problem with you over that. What do?
Stephen A., that's why everybody ain't built for heat culture. That's what I learned from the great Pat Riley. If I care about you the way I say I care about you, then I got to tell you the truth. I got to hold you accountable. The harsh truth is 10 times better than a good-looking, cute lie. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. If I want the best for you, I got to be honest with you. I got to tell you the truth. So a lot of these people, they don't want to hear the truth because at the end of the day, the truth is hard. Everything you want to do, everything you want to get is going to be on the other side of hard, and you got to get uncomfortable. Nobody wants to get uncomfortable these days. Everybody wanted their way, and everybody wanted smooth. So, for me, being with the Miami Heat, that's probably the best thing that could have happened to me. Being a kid that had bad habits growing up, was naturally good at the game of basketball, was never challenged until I got to the Miami Heat and got in that system.
I want to go. I'm talking to Udonis Haslem right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Before I get into what transpired in the NBA Finals and what transpired throughout this NBA season, my last question to you on this topic would be this. Crystallize for our audience. What is crossing the line in terms of a former player speaking, giving color commentary? When you talk about being a part of that fraternity, what qualifies legitimately as crossing the line and should qualify as crossing the line?
Personal conversations, man. Anything we talking about out over wine or, things that happen in the locker room or conversations that happen in the locker room, things that go between certain guys that you got to iron out, those kind of conversations, those things are personal. I think those are the things that you keep in-house. So I got to let everybody know that mess with me on a personal level. When it comes to that, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to protect your brand. I'm going to protect your name. I'm going to keep my mouth closed on certain things. Things you talk about with me, we're going to take that to the grave. I'm loyal to the soil on that. But now, when you step out in that world and when you step on that basketball court, that is not personal. That is not private. You are in front of the world. I'm just telling the world what's going on the basketball court. And once again, as a man who wants the best for all the NBA guys and want to see them be their best version, I ain't going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, how you take it and how you receive it, that's on you. But most of the guys that I've been around have been receptive to the things that I've said because they know I want the best for them.
Well, you know how I roll, and I totally agree with you 1,000%. And that's why I always say, I walk around and they can talk all the shit they want to. There's no one that could ever come and say, I violated a personal conversation. It never happened.
Man, I can say shit? Oh,
yeah,
man.
Okay. It's a little different. The climate's a little different here.